Comiket 98, the 98th time that this large biannual event, which attracts nearly 500,000 attendees from not only Japan but from all around the world, and for a change this time to be held during the spring, was supposed to be on during the dates of May the 2nd to May the 5th, but it did not go ahead. Hey everyone, before I begin, my name is Tak and thank you for watching this video. I post videos from time to time about things I find interesting in the world of anime or tech. Please don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy it and consider subscribing. Now, onto the rest of the video. Comiket in Japan is one of the big calendar events for people who are into anime or manga. As the name of the event derives from the words comic market, it is an event where small and unknown to big and popular creators can sell their fan-made content as art books, books of alternative stories, music, video games, and merchandise, based off their favorite animes or manga series, or from other media such as TV shows or movies, to the general public. And yes, a huge part of this is the off-branded stuff. There's so much off-branded stuff of every single fetish you can think of at Comiket that not surprisingly, the majority of the attendees there are male. But while small, there seems to be a growing number of female attendees as well. But it does not only attract these fan-made creators, which I'll be referring to as doujin circles from here on out. It also brings in corporate customers like publishers and studios for anime, manga, video game companies, music labels, bookstores, and even strangely a mining company of all things. Okay, sure. Some of these companies go in with large bright visual display for their storefronts on the floor to attract buyers to buy their official merchandise for the series they are promoting. Even buying out wall and ceiling space for the ads to put up as well. Some of the merchandise are on early sale, which means they won't be on sale for months. Some are limited edition, and some of the things you can buy easily elsewhere. The few days that a corporate booth operates at Comiket can be very lucrative and can introduce a lot of people to current and new series that they're not familiar with. As well, if you are cheap, the corporate area is a great way to get some free stuff like promotional carry bags, pin badges, plastic fan, and clear files. Oh god, Japan, why the hell do you love clear files so much? It does not matter if you're at Comiket for the doujin or the official merchandise goods, or you're there just for any other reason. It is a place that is buzzing with energy with a lot of people, and most I will say will be having fun. Comiket is a ritual for some of the attendees. Some wake up to catch the very first train of the day to the venue to line up in blistering hot summer heat or freezing cold winter outside in the venue just to be the first ones to get in to get the goods. In the past, it was even possible to line up the night before if you were really that desperate. I remember getting on the train at 5 AM on the days that the event were held to see trains filled with people showing up their bags with badges and accessories of their favorite anime characters. People bring around small suitcases which has their costume inside or something to store the goods in later on. And plenty of people on their phones just checking Twitter to see if there's any updates from their favorite doujin circles. And people mapping out their battle plans to figure out the way to get all the stuff they wanted. Once you reach one of the stations that did stop at Tokyo Big Sight, there was a huge rush to get off the escalator, go through the ticket gates, and to get out as quickly as possible to go to either the east or the west side halls, depending on where your doujin circle or your corporate booth was set up. It used to be quite a chaotic experience for the newcomer, and for some it was way too overwhelming and they may never want to return again. But in the last few years, I've seen some things being more organized better, such as the signage and crowd control and movement. I have always heard from people that Comiket was an event that they really wanted to experience for the first time due to an anime like Lucky Star showing it off as a crazy experience, but would they return for it again? Probably not. Comiket 98, the 98th time that this large biannual event, which attracts nearly 500,000 attendees from not only Japan but from all around the world, and for a change this time to be held during the spring, was supposed to be on during the dates of May the 2nd to May the 5th, but it did not go ahead. Now, if you have been living under a rock for the last few months and haven't realized yet, due to the fact that there's so many people packed into the Tokyo Big Sight, and due to the ongoing health crisis regarding a certain virus that I can't really mention due to YouTube's policy, it was unfortunately, but for really good and valid reasons, cancelled this time around. This was ready from having to need to move this particular event forward a few months in order for the Tokyo Olympics to use the venue. But that now has been pushed back a year, and even that now has doubts if it can be even held at all. This is quite a blow to the industry that had already had to suffer with the Anime Japan 2020 back in March getting cancelled as well. That event was supposed to have corporate customers, such as the publishers and studios, showcase the new upcoming anime series that people could expect for the year, and to start ramping up interest for in return generating sales on the merchandise to support these shows. Comiket to this day is still a non-profit, volunteer-operated event, so it does rely on the money that it gets from the corporate customers to help pay for the running of it. They do this by renting out space in order for them to promote their new shows to the general public. In fact, last year, they had to, for the first time ever, introduce a pay entry into the event due to the drop in revenues from the corporate customers being placed in a different location that's even smaller. That's because of the renovations that was happening at the Tokyo Big Site for the Olympics. But the smart people behind Comiket decided that this year they would be still holding an event, but this time doing it virtually, and thus started the hashtag movement Air Comiket in order to drum up hype and interest for people to continue supporting the community and the event from the comfort of their own home. They wanted doujin circles to use this hashtag, and in return they will try to promote as many of them to help them out. So in a way to promote these digital storefronts that may be coming online now to help create some sales and promotions. And people have getting on board with it so far. Social media sites that have been using this hashtag so far has a lot of doujin circles showing off their latest artworks for the books and merchandise that we're hoping to sell during the event. Some have already taken the online sales route and started selling digital copies via online sites such as DMM, DL Site, Pixiv Fanbox, and Booth PM. I think this is a great initiative since there's reduced costs from selling it online. 1. There is no need to print physical copies or over-manufacture some of the merchandise, thus being efficient and being more environmentally friendly. 2. The owners can get a copy that will remain with them forever in its original quality. 3. There's a possibility to bring out new fans who had only discovered them via social media. 4. There is no need to queue up. And if you have experienced a Comiket queue for a particular doujin circle before, you know how bad it is. It's really, really bad. And 5, finally, everyone can buy a copy, which is great for those really, really popular doujin circles that only print out a limited quantity for sale. Of course, yes, nothing really beats getting a physical copy that you can hold in your hand. And for all of those printing companies out there, they're probably not really happy with the loss of sales right now. But these are really unprecedented times, and hopefully by the next event, things will improve. That's not to say that all the doujin circles are doing the online sales route. Some are still doing the old way of printing them and selling them directly to the book chain stores like Toro no Ana and Melon Books to help sell them to the public. So if your favorite doujin circle still has physical copies of their new work and it's on sale, well, that's great as well. So how about the corporate booths? Of course, they're the ones paying out the money all the time to display their new series and to sell merchandise. How are they going about with it? For some of the big companies such as Kadokawa, they have moved it to an online storefront, which is a logical move. Or some are not doing anything at all. As expected, as a business, you need to be generating revenue. And if these big corporations are seeing more sales come through online for these sales, could this spell the end of these big booths being at Comiket at all? We have already seen this with the large game companies doing this with E3. Could Comiket be the next one as well? In my opinion, no. These companies still need to have some sort of presence at these events for marketing purposes. People also want to see the large, nice visual displays that these booths can bring out, and some of them even have cosplayers coming out to advertise their products. I really don't think you can bring that same experience online. But of course, there is no Comiket without the attendee. What about them? What about the ones who want to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the very first train to get to the venue, to only line up for another 6 hours to get into the venue to line up again to get their goods? Well, in spirit, some of these people are still keeping these traditions alive. People who would have attended these events have been posting photos online of the various locations of previously held Comiket events as if they were walking by them and pretending that they were there currently. It is actually a great way to look back at happier times and remember about the anime and manga series that have gone by so far. Even the official Comiket Twitter account has stepped in and posted videos of what Comiket would have looked like in the past. For the other popular part of Comiket, the cosplays, which yes, I do take part in as a photographer, this year cosplayers have been showing their support by continuing to dress up during these photo shoots at home and sharing them online on social media. And why not? Some of these cosplayers have spent ages making these uniforms, so you might as well just wear them on. We usually see the big, flashy, bright backgrounds and the tons of people crowd around them to take their photos. And now we see the insides of their bedrooms. Now that's very interesting to see, to say the least. But I can see the positives from this. We can get the photos from the cosplayers that we want without having to line up for ages to take their photos. So thank you to all the cosplayers out there still doing this. Of course, you can still support Comiket during these tough times by doing one of the following. If you live in Japan or you can get items delivered from Japan, you can still buy the official catalog, which lists all the doujin circles and the corporate booths that would have been attending. You should get them from book chains such as Torino Ana or Melon Books, who will be giving the proceeds from these sales directly to the Comiket community. Speaking of these two book chains, they are also giving away special bags that were meant for distribution during Comiket for people who have purchased over 3,000 yens of goods in their stores. If you have the chance to get a catalog, please do so. The funds from this catalog sales will apparently be determining if the next event can be held at all, so any support they can get right now will be helpful. The community will also like people to continue using this hashtag as long as possible after the event is finished. Now from here on out, this is only my personal speculations and thoughts. It is not confirmed to be happening, but after this Air Comiket experience, I would like to see the following happen at least. I hope that from this Air Comiket experience, more doujin circles will start supporting e-commerce and start opening up a permanent web storefront to sell their limited edition goods. It is very frustrating if you are after a particular limited edition item and have to wait for hours to get it to only find out it was sold out before the queue got to you. I've seen plenty of people who go in and buy bulk amounts of limited edition goods, which I am really hoping that they're buying it for their friends and not for resale purposes. I have encountered this issue so many times when I started attending Comiket many years ago, and it's due for this reason that for the last few events, I have stopped buying all the limited edition goods at all, or heavily reduced the number of doujin circles that I want to visit. I'm hoping that from here on out, web storefronts will be much more common. Since these web storefronts will most likely need a form of credit card to pay, I would like to see more circles start supporting more cashless payment options at their booths as well. It is very annoying to have to keep carrying around cash and fumble inside your wallet to get the cash out, get the change back, and then fumble again to put the cash back in. If I could just tap my credit card or even use my Suica card to pay for the items, I would be buying so much more items at Comiket. Try to hold Comiket during a different season. Summer in Japan is brutally humid, and the winter is only slightly better weather-wise. I hope they can try to do another spring or autumn one again in the future. This one is kind of controversial, but there may be a need to increase the entry costs for the next event in order to cover the loss they've sustained it so far. For this event and last year, they were asking people for 500 Japanese yen for each day of the event they were attending. I personally would be happy to pay even double that price, but that is because I personally find value in attending these events. For someone who's just curious or is just there purely to shop, then this may stop them from going. And finally, obviously, the new phrase these days is social distancing. The committee will definitely need to implement some kind of social distancing policy if the health crisis does not improve. An event like Comiket will definitely be a hotbed for another outbreak. Could there be a limit on the amount of attendees attending? Could there be a lottery system? Or could they even move the whole event to a new venue or stretch out the whole event over a longer period of days? No one knows. Overall, it's still great to see these fans, doujin circles, and corporate customers still supporting each other during these times by still trying to bring all the excitement and fun from Comiket into everyone's home. You may not see it, but there is companies and industries out there being affected by the fact that Comiket is not being held at all. I am really hoping that by the time that Comiket 99 comes around at the end of December, that the virus issue would have subsided a lot and that the event can continue as usual. But that is something that no one can determine right now. As well, I do hope the Comiket community does use this downtime to find ways to improve or even expand the event. As I mentioned earlier, the hashtag is Air Comiket, written in katakana, which you can search up on Twitter. Even if you can't read Japanese, go through and see all the interesting photos that have been posted so far from everyone virtually attending. I'm sure that you'll be able to find something really interesting there. The most interesting one I've seen so far is a doujin circle doing a VR version. Now that is something funny and genius. Now I'm suspecting that some of the things I've mentioned in this video may be incorrect at the time of the recording, or I might have done my research incorrectly. I am not good at Japanese, and I may have misinterpreted a few things. If that's the case, please leave a comment below, or even if you disagree with me on some of these points, please also leave a comment. I'm happy to hear about any other things that I might have been wrong about, or that I might have missed. End of the day, I am not a journalist, nor am I articulate when it comes to expressing my opinions or thoughts. Regardless, I hope you did enjoy this video, and will continue supporting Comiket from either now or in the future when things get back to normal. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. You may have realized that this video has a lot of jump cuts, and I do apologize for that because I do, as you can hear right now, stumble on my words really badly most of the times. I do need to learn to slow down a lot more when I'm speaking. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification icon. And please follow me on other platforms such as Twitter and Reddit. Also, I do stream frequently on Twitch, so please come in and join in the chat where we can talk about anything at all, while I play really poorly at video games. No doubt this has been a pretty bad year so far for events, and there's most likely going to be more events cancelled later on in the year. If there's something else I can make a video about, then I'll give it a shot. But in the meantime, as again, thank you for watching this video, take care, and thank you.